Welcome back to the channel on part 2 of our ride up Viking Mountain. In the last video we started the journey tackling some epic roads and soaking up the views. Now it's time to take it up a notch. We're climbing higher, hitting some killer twisties, and chasing that mountain air all the way to the top. Let's fire it up and keep this adventure rolling. Man, coming up to Viking always hits me with a wave of nostalgia. Back in high school, my buddies and I used to come up here all the time, just looking for a place to get away and have some fun. We'd pack into whatever cars we had, blast music, and rip up the roads like we owned them. There were plenty of late nights, maybe too much goofing off, and just that kind of dumb, carefree fun you have when you're young. It's been wild coming back, riding on 2 wheels instead of 4, but the feeling's still the same, just pure freedom. Oh, and while we're waiting to get around this car who has no clue what they're doing, if things sound a little bit better today, it's because I finally upgraded my mic. I've been wanting to clean up the audio for a while, so hopefully this sounds a lot better. Let me know what you think in the comments. And good news, by the next video, I should finally have a helmet mic set up. Been trying to get this worked out, been through 3 different microphones, and for some reason none of them were compatible with my particular camera, so hopefully this dumb idiot can finally figure out how to talk in his helmet and y'all can hear me ramble on aimlessly off script. Should be pretty entertaining, but we'll see. So the first time I rode a motorcycle up to the top of Viking Mountain was on my old DR650. It was a few years ago. When I made it to the top, I met this older guy, really cool fella, and I think he still lives up there if I'm not mistaken. We got to talking and he shared some of the history of the place that he knew. Turns out Viking Mountain used to be owned by a guy named Dwight Eisenhower Jones. He even had the meadow up top named after him, Jones Meadow, which you'll see here in a clip in a few minutes. But then around the time of the Great Depression, he had to sell the land. I reckon somebody bought it, and eventually they turned it into a ski resort. I'll tell you more about that here in just a minute. Until then, enjoy this good old music. So earlier I was telling you about a ski resort on this mountain. With this overlook right here, there was a landing for cement trucks. Not exactly sure if they were mixing cement here or just unloading it somehow and transferring it up to the top, but I do know that it was used to help build the resort. Either way, it makes for one heck of a view, doesn't it? Okay, so here's a little bit of history about Viking Mountain. It was also known as Camp Creek Bald and once home to an ambitious ski resort project in Greene County, Tennessee. The endeavor began in the late 60s when developers envisioned transforming the mountain into a premier skiing destination. The resort featured several amenities, including a lodge known as the Valhalla Inn, ski slopes, and unique round cabins referred to as roundettes. Despite these developments, the resort faced numerous financial challenges. After opening for its first time and only ski season in February of 1972, it became evident that sustaining operations was problematic. Ownership changed hands multiple times throughout the 70s and 80s, with each new investor unable to achieve lasting success. Today, remnants of the resort, such as parts of the old ski lift towers and traces of the swimming pool, can still be found on the mountain. The area has since been reclaimed by nature and is now part of the Cherokee National Forest, offering hiking trails and scenic views for outdoor enthusiasts. Now, there's also a legend I've heard about up on top of Viking Mountain, and it suggests that Elvis Presley visited Viking Mountain in Greene County during the peak of the Viking Mountain Resort in the 60s and 70s. According to these accounts, Elvis was helicoptered onto the mountain, possibly as a potential investor in the resort. However, these stories are based on local folklore, and there is no concrete evidence or official records to confirm that Mr. Presley was actually visited Viking Mountain. Therefore, while the details persist in local communities, they remain unverified. It's still pretty cool to think about, though, and back then it honestly wouldn't surprise me if that was true. Pretty wild to think that I've been coming up here most of my life, and I never knew that until a friend pointed that out after I posted my last video. Anyways, it just shows you we all have something to learn from each other. But if y'all know more about this than I do, or if I've gotten anything backwards or wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comments. I'd love to hear about it and love to learn more. Alright, that's going to wrap up today's ride to Viking Mountain. It's always great coming back to this spot, especially with all the history it holds. I'm sure y'all are going to see some more videos up here before this channel ever ends. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Drop a comment below if you've got any stories or memories from up here. I'd love to hear them. Until next time, stay safe, keep riding, and I'll see y'all on the next adventure.